everybody, welcome back to my channel, Books with Meena, and today I'm going to be reviewing a book. So today's book that I am going to be reviewing is called The Girls I've Been by Tess Sharpe. So I haven't made a video in quite some time. It's been almost 2 weeks and I bet you missed me. So it's just nice to sit down and make a video again. I wasn't particularly busy, but I just did make a video and now I am back with a book review. So let's just jump right into it. So I gave this book a 3.5 out of 5 stars. This one is a young adult mystery thriller, and you are following Nora, who is I think 17 or 18. She is in her late teens, and she gets taken hostage in this bank robbery alongside with her current girlfriend called Iris and her previous ex-boyfriend called Wes. There are other people also involved in this bank robbery who do get taken hostage, and you are following Nora as she tries to get out of the sticky situations. So Nora, when she was like a young kid, till the age of 12, she was with her mom, and her mom was a con artist. So they would like hop from town to town, city to city, and they would con different people, take their money, and then run away. So Nora knows some tricks of the trade, and she's trying to apply whatever she has learned with her mom at a very young age to try to trick these bank robbers into releasing them, or just, trying to get out of this very bad situation. Currently, Nora's mom is in jail, and Nora has been living with her elder sister Lee for quite some time, since the age of 12 to now. So it's been 5 to 6 years. And so this book, when I went into it, I kind of expected it to be more light-hearted, fun, adventure, kind of like a romp. And I don't know why I got that impression, maybe based off the cover or the title, or maybe the description of the book that was given on Goodreads. Maybe even some reviews that I saw of this book led me to believe that it would be like a light-hearted, fun, quirky book with fun, quirky characters. That was not really the case with The Girls I've Been. I think this book is way darker and more serious in tone than I expected. It is quite, there's a lot of trigger warnings in this book. I think, you can think of all the things that could have trigger warnings, and I think they are present in this book. So do check out specific trigger warnings on Goodreads. So yes, this book was way more dark and serious than I expected. You are following Nora in present day as she's like 17, 18, stuck in this bank robbery situation, and that timeline takes place within like 24 hours. But you do have alternative chapters where you get to see into the past when Nora was a young, child of like 6 to 7 till the age of like 15-ish, and you get to see her past and how she lived with her mom, jumping from town to town, city to city, conning people, how that affected her childhood. And almost in a, you can say that this book was a very character based or character driven mystery novel or thriller novel, because you're getting to see Nora's past in quite a lot of detail. I would say you are following her from when she's 6 to 7, and you get to see each of the cons that she is a part of. You get to see how she has suffered a lot of trauma and abuse, neglect, grooming at the hands of her mom, but also the people that her mom targeted were not very nice to Nora, and they also have affected her quite badly with their actions. In present day, you're getting to see Nora trying to overcome or heal from these traumas, how she still sees herself as this person who is not normal, cannot live with human beings, that that maybe she is still dangerous. So she's still healing from these things that she has been through, quite a lot of horrific things, and she is going to therapy, all of these things. So yes, it did feel like a very character driven novel or a character driven mystery novel. I think that the most interesting part of this book was Nora's relationship with her mom and her sister. You obviously get to see how they are a very, like, you can say, dysfunctional family at the best, or a very abusive family at the worst. And Nora's relationship with her mom, how she used to look up to her, and she spent quite a lot of time with her mom, following her. So you get to see this like dysfunctional family at the best and a very abusive family at the worst. And the dynamic is very interesting because Nora's mom is very much self-centered. She has like groomed Nora to be this like perfect daughter, or at least play the part of a perfect daughter, so that people can trust this like middle-aged lady a little bit more. And then you get to see Lee and Nora's relationship. They are sisters, but they are like Lee is like almost 15 to 20 years older than Nora, and for the longest time, both of them didn't even know that the other one existed. And then when they got to know, they slowly, started to get to know each other. They have sacrificed a lot to have this like sense of normalcy in their lives. So yes, I did think that the family aspect of this book was the most interesting and also pretty fleshed out and well written, I guess you can say. As for the trigger warnings that I was talking about, so yes, there is a lot of trigger warnings in this book, and the way that they were discussed, I really enjoyed, or if not enjoyed, I really appreciated, because especially in the past timeline, you get to see Nora going through a lot of horrible things, and none of them were described in very graphic detail. You can say that they were just hinted at, and you get a good sense of like, okay, this is what happened, this is what must have happened, this is how everything transpired. And I appreciated that the author took this kind of route, or that the author took this path to telling us or showing us that there's this all of these events took place in Nora's like childhood. And a lot of the times, these kind of scenes that are written in graphic detail can trigger people or just be a little off-putting or even unnecessary. And so I appreciated that we didn't really get to see much detail in these scenes, but we got to know that yes, they happened and that they have affected our characters in a very deep, and long-term way. So yes, this book had a good balance of like the mystery thriller plotline in present day, where these bank robbers and the bank and the hostages and the main characters trying to get out of the situation. That pacing was good, balancing it out with some other the past, where you get to see more of the characters, the relationships, what has shaped them up to be the people today. I would say with the present timeline, there isn't really a lot of action. Like I said, I went into the book thinking it would be like a really fun adventure romp, very like fast paced, lots of action, that kind of thing. And it was not that. It was much more grounded, realistic, and gritty than that. So, yes, not a lot of action. And you really get to see the characters thinking everything through. And I think that the way this whole like hostage situation was portrayed in the book, or the way it was written in the book, I think was definitely more down to earth and gritty, how people would actually have to deal with this kind of a situation. So while a lot of things were written pretty well in this book, and overall I did enjoy it and like it, I just did not feel a huge connection to Nora as a character, or even the side characters for that matter, which include Iris and Wes. So I wish that I had cared more about their friendship slash relationships, because that would have just made me care more about the story in general. Because I would pick the book up, I would read like 10, 20 pages, or sometimes even 50 pages. I would put it down and then kind of forget about it for 2 to 3 days, and then pick it back up again. And if I had cared, more for the characters, I definitely would have finished this book in a shorter period of time. Nothing is wrong with these characters. I do think that they are fleshed out and well written. I just did not care for them. I felt like Nora's whole personality was to be like this person who went through a lot of trauma in her childhood. And it does sound a little, kind of bad coming out from my mouth that this character's whole personality is to be this traumatized being, but that's how it felt to me. I just wish there was more to her. But I think it also makes a lot of sense that Nora does not have much of a personality outside of this, because as a young kid, she was not allowed to explore herself and express herself very much. She was always forced to play the role of like a good daughter, and forced to play these roles that her mother chose for her in these like different towns and cities. Her identities kept changing. So Nora never really got a chance to like, come into her own or just be herself without any fear, without any like imposition, I guess. And so it makes a lot of sense that I would feel this way about a character. But still, at the end of the day, I just did not care for the characters. Neither did I care for the friendships slash relationships. They felt a little, half baked or just less fleshed out. The writing in this book reminded me quite a bit of The Female of the Species. It was, very cutting and very kind of like gritty. Also, like you have a lot of like quotable lines in this book where our characters are like hardened by life. It definitely had the same kind of vibe to it. So, if you like that book because of its writing style, I would say that you would enjoy this book too for the same kind of writing. The ending is a little open ended, which I did not have much of a problem with. I think that it was quite fitting for where the plot of this book was headed, and based on the things that had been established in the first part of the book. But I can see some people taking issue with the open endedness of this book. So, go into it knowing that not all questions are answered, and not everything comes to a perfect, like, neatly bow tied, conclusion. So, yeah, the book definitely had an ending that can be dissatisfying to some people, but it was not to me. So yes, The Girls Have Been 3.5 out of 5 stars. The book first came into my radar because of Goodreads, and then I heard that it is being converted into a Netflix movie with Millie Bobby Brown. So that's exciting, and I do want to see the movie at some point of time when it does release on Netflix. But yes, apart from that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Do let me know in the comments below that if you read this book, did you enjoy it? How much did you enjoy it? If you want to pick it up after my review, all of that stuff, be sure to like, share, subscribe, comment down below if you wish to do so. And that is it for this video. Goodbye.